Hey all, Heretic here, and today in the Battlegrounds we're talking about patch 30.2.2, dropping today, August 29th, probably about 1 p.m. Eastern, as that is the typical time it launches. We have a lot of changes here. There's a lot of balancing going on. I feel like the game is finally getting into a really good state pretty quick. I feel like obviously we had the disaster with the Titus portrait, which was a mess, fixed by removing. We've got some issues in the current meta. I think of a couple automatons, things like that. They're getting addressed today, and we're going to dive into all that. We're going to start with turns. Now that people are used to playing with Trinket, are going to get shorter again. This additional time they've added to some of the turns is now going to go back to what it usually is. So if you feel like you don't have enough time, I'm sorry. Gonna have just a little bit less, but I feel like most of us have adapted pretty well, and other than those occasional turns where we feel like we never are gonna have enough time anyways, for the most part, turns we have some free time. I mean, maybe not me in my advanced age, but for some other people they'll have more than enough time. Hey, have you played Guff since they reworked him? No? That's probably a good reason for that. Doesn't look very good, and they've realized that, so they've made it a little easier to get. Used to be his hero power was, recently, passive after you buy 30 tiers worth of cards, get a triple reward. So now, passive after you buy 25 tiers worth of cards, get a triple reward. Obviously, this is significantly easier to pull off. The issue really is that you have no hero power for the first few turns, but then triples start coming in. So basically, that should be enough. I feel like 30 just wasn't there. I wasn't even willing to try it when it was offered to me because I'm trying to climb. I'm trying to get my MMR up there to be respectable, and I don't feel like playing this guinea pig hero that doesn't really feel good is a good way to climb. Maybe now, maybe I'll give it a shot. Lesser trinkets gotta change. I'm gonna go over those costs real quick because it's just, for the most part, cost changes, but not all, and that's why we're gonna cover them all. First, bobblehead 1 to 0 gold, Kodo leather pouch 2 to 0, souvenir stand 3 to 2, fishy sticker 2 to 1, alliance keychain 4 to 3, token of the old gods 1 to 0, far too expensive at 0. Why don't you give me a gold and I'll take it? Feral talisman 3 to 2, replica cathedral 3 to 2. I love cathedrals. I'll happily take this at a reduced cost. Azeroth model globe 3 to 2, demon blood gourd 1 to 0. Once again, you have to pay me to take this. This feels like I'm actively trying to lose when I take this one. So why would I want to take this? Shaker portrait 7 to 6. Yes, they went down on the cost of Shaker. Rockin' music box got more than just a cost change. Used to be 1 gold at the end of each turn, get a random battlecry minion. Now is 3 gold, get a random battlecry minion at the start of each turn, get another. Now this is just a functionality change that I think matches what the other trinkets do that give you a minion. It was weird that this was the only one that didn't immediately give you a minion. I think that's why the cost went up, but I think this is a good change. It definitely needed this. Calligraphy set went from 5 to 2 gold, which feels bizarre because this thing is awesome. Automaton portrait went from 7 to 6. Yes, it went down. Charging staff went from 3 to 4. Lava lamp from 3 to 4. Comfy coffin 4 to 5. Colorful compass 2 to 3. Tiger carving 2 to 3, Dalaran cheese wheel 4 to 5. Not really a shock on any of these changes. That's it for the lesser trinkets. Now the greater trinkets got a lot of different changes, so obviously we're going to go through them all because some of these are definitely worth mentioning. Elementium chest used to be 0 gold each combat after 3 friendly pirates attack, gain 1 gold next turn. Now 3 gold each combat after 2 friendly pirates attack, gain 1 gold next turn. That's huge because that very much raises the amount of gold you're getting. At 3 gold, I'm fine with this. If I am playing pirates, this is a damn good reward for lots of money, but it's late. I don't know how I feel about it yet. We'll see if we get some games in. It's a lot of money, but they're so late, doesn't matter. Spite scale sushi roll used to be 6 gold, get a spite scale special. Your spellcraft spells cast twice. Now is 4 gold, get a spite scale special. Your first 2 spellcraft each turn cast twice. Now this is a big deal. Deep Blue was using this to gain a ton of stats and be immensely abused. And you still will get extra power from this for your Deep Blue, so it's good. But no longer will it be has cuckoo crazy insane amount of stats. So I feel like this is a good balance between keeping it still interesting potentially and at the same time, you know, not letting it be broken and whatnot. I think this is a good change. We'll see. Maybe it's not enough, but I like this slight change as opposed to completely destroying it and making it worthless. Enforcer Portrait got a very big change. Used to be a lesser trinket. 7 gold, get a Light Fang Enforcer. Your Light Fang Enforcers have all minion types. It is now 1 gold, but a greater trinket, get a Light Fang Enforcer. Your Light Fang Enforcers have minion all types. I think this is a interesting change. Light Fang Enforcer was way too good, way crazy good at that early turn stage. But I also feel like it's not very good at the late stage. Now that could be why it's only 1 gold. If you're getting it late, it's still a bunch of stats on turn 9. It's still decent at 9, but it falls off incredibly quickly after that. I don't really like this. I don't feel like I want this. If I'm taking this, it's because I'm in a bad place and this is the only thing that's going to save me potentially. That's the only reason I can really see myself taking this. Blood Golem sticker got a bit of a change. Used to be 4 gold whenever a friendly Quillbore dies. Summon a golem with stats equal to its blood gems 3 times per combat. Now is 3 gold, so cheaper. Whenever a friendly Quillbore dies, summon a golem with stats equal to its blood gems 2 times per combat. So it does the same thing, just less value. It's still good. It's still really good, but it's dramatically less good, but it's still very good. Oh, did I mention Rivendare Portrait earlier? Because it's back. Old, 2 gold, get a Titus Rivendare. Start of combat, give your Titus Rivendare stealth. Yeah, that was broken, and we all knew that. Now it is 3 gold, get a Titus Rivendare. Start of combat, double the health of your Titus Rivendare. I like this. I like this a lot. If every combat, it just doubles its health. Now, obviously, it's a combat buff. It's not permanent, so they're just going to go away. It's still doubling it, whatever it is. So if you buff it to 60, it's 120. Obviously, it's a 7 base, so 14s are what you're going to be getting right off the bat. That's still good. So whatever you buff it to, it'll be twice as good. It's still not going to be invincible like it was essentially with stealth, but at least now it's not broken. It's counterable. Velbat Portrait goes from being 7 gold to 9 gold because it's good. Dalaran Cheese Wheel, 4 to 6 gold. Darnassus Pie, 3 to 5. Calligraphy Set goes from being 5 gold. Avenge 4, your blood gems give an extra +1/+1 this game, to now being 2 gold. Avenge 5, your blood gems give an extra +1 health this game. This is a massive change to Calligraphy Set. The fact that it was so good really was overwhelming. I feel like this is a infinitely better version for the rest of the game. And if you're a Quillbore fan, you're sitting there going, what? My Quillbore are so big, they're not gonna die. More of them have to die to only gain health? Sorry. Butcher's Sickle goes from being 5 to 7 gold. Comfy Coffin, 5 to 6. Twin Sky Lanterns, 2 to 4. Emerald Dreamcatcher, 5 to 7. Fridge Magnet, 3 to 4. Conductor Portrait. Used to be old, get a Snarling Conductor. Whenever you discard a card, play a blood gem on all your minions. Now is get a Snarling Conductor. Whenever you discard a card, play a blood gems on 5 friendly minions. It won't buff your entire board, but it's still really good. So if you liked Conductor Portrait before, if it was winning games for you, probably still is, just not as convincingly as before. Booty Bay Brew used to be whenever you spend gold, give a friendly pirate +2/+4. Now is whenever you spend gold, give a friendly pirate +3/+4. Pirate fans rejoice, maybe you have a tiny chance. Parazan Chess Set used to be start of combat, summon a copy of each of your minions, to now, sorry, is start of combat, summon a copy of your 2 leftmost minions. That still means you get to copy 2 amazing minions, just not everything. Sorry. Artisanal Urn, old, used to give your undead 7 attack, now gives 8 attack. I've used it before. It's good if you're offered nothing better, and now it's, you know, if you got a ton of undead, it's still very good. Glow scale portrait goes from being 4 to 3 gold. Photo leather pouch goes from being after you buy a card, give a friendly minion +4/+4 to after you buy a card, give a friendly minion +5/+5. Barrel talisman goes from your minions have +5/+3 to now your minions have +6/+4. Not a bad change. Mug of Sire goes from being old whenever you summon a minion that doesn't fit in your warband, give your minions +4 attack, to now whenever you summon a minion that doesn't fit in your warband to 5 attack. It's not a huge change, but it's still good. Valorous Medallion goes from being old start of combat, give your minions +5/+5 to now being new start of combat, give your minions +6/+6. It's not an insane increase. Once again, just trying to nudge these things up, so maybe we'll play with them and get some use out of them. Dragon Wing Glider goes from being whenever you play a card, give a friendly dragon +6 attack to now whenever you play a card, give a friendly dragon 8 attack. Same idea, nudging. Horde Keychain, your minions from tier 3 or lower have +6/+4 to now being the same thing but +7/+5. Does work if you're desperate. If you're in a bad shape and you have a ton of tokens on your board, +7/+5 isn't bad because every token you summon is tier 1. So throw out a bunch of tokens and maybe you can rip those big minions down. Glowing Gauntlets goes from being a +7/+7 to now being a +8/+8. I don't really love this one, but if the other ones are really bad and maybe I'm shop consuming or playing mechs, it could work. I don't love it, but it does do the job. We have some card changes, lots of minions being reworked a little bit to make them a little better, a little worse, depending on who they are. But Light Fang Enforcer goes from being a 6/6 at the end of your turn, give a friendly minion of each type +3/+3 to now being an 8/6 at the end of your turn, give a friendly minion of each type +4/+3. I guess this is because the changes they did to the trinket itself, the portraits. So they're like, oh, well, we need to make him a little better, but it's not hugely better. It's still late in the game. I'm not sure if they just exiled Light Fang basically from playable lobbies. We'll see. Snail Cavalry goes from being a 2/3 to now being a 2/2. That's the only change. They just bumped him down 1 health. That makes sense. He was really dependable, so it's a functional change that I like. This is how I thought they were going to change Zesty. He was very, very good, too good, and this is an easy fix. Used to be 5/4 once per turn when a spell is played on this, get a new copy of it, to now being 6/6 once per turn when a spell craft is played on this, get a new copy. Now the reason for that is easy. People would play Eyes of the Earth Mother on these Zesties and just keep making them gold. Hell, you hang on to the Eyes of the Earth Mother spell just until you could fill your board with Zesties. They'd all be gold. You'd get a deep blue, make him gold, and then yeah, it's just insane. This is a good change because now you can't cast spells on him, just spellcraft. Crow's Nest Sentry, little change. Used to be a 5/2 Battlecry, give your other pirates +3 health. Now is a 4/2 Battlecry, give your other pirates +4 health. I mean, I'd never want this on my board anyways. I'm only cycling it anyhow. If it is on my turn for 1 combat, this change doesn't affect me either way. I'm happier about the extra health, so good change. Ice Fisher got a bit of a change. Shout out to our old friend Codfather. I hate the art on this, sorry. Used to be a tier 6 8/8, is now a tier 5 2/2, but its base stats aren't why you buy it. You just have to cycle cards to gain all the stats on this thing. It's not bad. I think it's an interesting change. I feel like this is better because at tier 6 it came online too late. Now at tier 5, if you get a brain and whatnot, you can really cycle a lot of cards and get some big stats out of this. And it's still a pirate, so it's not like you can attach magnetics to it or give it venom in some weird way. So this is a good minion. I think has some real potential now. It's at tier 5. Cruise Controller got a bit of a buff, goes from being a 6/3 Death Rattle for the rest of this combat after you summon a pirate, give it +4 attack, to now being a 7/3 Death Rattle for the rest of this combat after you summon a pirate, give it +5 attack. Now, if you like doing pirates and throwing tokens at people, this is definitely going to work a little better now. That extra attack makes a big difference. I don't know if this build is very consistent, but when it works, it is very impressive. Thundering Abomination goes from being a 2/6 whenever you summon a minion in combat, give it +2/+2. If there's no space, gain +2/+2 permanently to now a 3/6. Whenever you summon a minion in combat, give it +3/+2. If there's no space, gain +3/+2 permanently. Not an insane difference, but once again, just trying to nudge it. I've already seen some builds where this does work. Once again, I don't know how consistent, but with this change, maybe it's there. Bountiful Bedrock got a little bit of a change. Oops, I cut something off there. No big deal. It used to be a tier 3 4/3 with the effect of at the end of every 2 turns get a random elemental, is now a tier 2 2/2 with the same effect. Every 2 turns get an elemental. I mean, yeah, put it at tier 2. The 2/2, it's not really exciting. I'd probably rather find a Crackling, and typically I don't want to play elementals, and so far none of the changes I've seen make me want to play elementals, but maybe this will give somebody an idea on some way to break the game. And it's everyone's favorite Ancestral Automaton. Nobody hates this card, right? I mean, if you're winning with it enough, you love it, but it used to be old, has +3/+2 for each Ancestral Automaton you summon this game, wherever this is, to now being has +2/+1 for each Ancestral Automaton you summon this game, wherever it is. That is a lot less stats over the duration of the game. And I know you're looking at that going, it's only a difference of a 1/1, but these are never truly monstrous unless you incredibly high roll. I think people are still going to force this. There's still going to be plenty of videos where it does very well. I just think now it's just going to be a typical highlight build because of that 1/1. I could be wrong. Maybe someone's crunched the math already and they're like, no, this doesn't make a huge difference, but I'm pretty sure taking off that much of the stats does make a difference to this build for the purposes of finishing first and second in basically every game you can pull off the build. So it's not insanely broken, but I've seen it high roll, not even really high roll, just mid roll, and you get there and you're all set. You sit at tier 5, you get Kangors, you go nuts. We'll see. Maybe this change does it. Wannabe Gargoyle got a buff. Goes from being a 5/1 to a 9/1. Same abilities. I don't hate this minion. I do enjoy buffing it, seeing it come back. When you do golden it, it gets to keep the health and the attack. I mean, the attack at 5 was fine too, but 9 feels a lot better, so I'm not going to complain. I mean, maybe I just wish he started with a little more health so I'd feel better about him. And I know that makes him stronger, but I feel like that would feel better to me, but we'll see. Hunter of Gatherers got some changes. Used to be tier 5 3/6. It is now tier 4 3/5. Same ability. After it gains attack, give it +1 health. I like this card at tier 5. I like it a lot more at tier 4. I don't play dragons very often, but if I get it, I don't mind. And it's pretty good if you can triple into it early and you have some way to buff it intermittently, even if it's just with like spellcraft, because it's permanent health it's giving. Yeah, a good change. Channel the Devourer got a big change. Goes from being tier 6 to a tier 5 spell. Now that is phenomenal because I cannot tell you the number of times I've been digging for it. Anytime you move this to a lower tier, that means you're more likely to find it. I'm perfectly happy, if anything, just because I can find it at tier 5 now. I no longer have to go to 6 to find Channel the Devourer. Now we got some minion pool changes. Upbeat Front Drake and Corrupted Myrmidon are both returning to their respective pools. Front Drake defined dragons for a little while, so this could be a good change. And Corrupted Myrmidon also was a very effective Naga. It'll be interesting to see how they work. Front Drake especially, I know I've heard a lot of people express excitement about it because they did enjoy that silly little 1/1 kicking out extra dragons all the time. Could be interesting, folks. And we have a ton of armor changes. Now, I'm not going to go into all the armor changes. There's a lot of them. There's a link in this description of this video where you could click on it. We'll take you to the patch notes. It will have all of these listed there, but otherwise, that's that. Finally, we have some bug fixes, some game improvements. First, they fixed a bug where Ticketus's raise the stakes didn't turn the card golden, which definitely defeats the purpose of that. So that is a very good fix. They also fixed a bug where Tiger Carving, the greater trinket, only gave +2 attack instead of +4. Very good fix because I'd be very irritated paying the gold for a greater and getting a lesser. And finally, fixed a bug in duos where bobble-headed trinket applied to both teammates when one person got it. Now that is a hell of a trinket. It's for both of you. They said they weren't doing anything specific with trinkets for duos. It sounds like they did by accident. That would be great. Your opponents would have no idea. And you really control your teammate if he was using a build that needed some things from tier 1 and 2 by accident. So it could be equally bad too, depending on the builds you were going for. That's it, folks. That's all the changes. These are the updates we're looking at. Now, for the most part, I feel like the current meta is fantastic. I feel like all of these changes has really good potential to nudge the meta in the right direction. I can't really think of anything huge I think is overpowered that they're not addressing here. If you can, if there's something you don't like about this patch, let me know in the comments below. Have I missed something? Is there some broken thing they didn't touch? And you're like, oh my God, they left this in the game. What the hell? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching all. If you like this, please hit the like, subscribe, comment button, all that good stuff. It helps the channel grow. I really do appreciate it. Thanks again. Until next time, I'll see you in the Battlegrounds. Later.